SimmBros Pod.
Let's go. Episode 20.
30.
30. I was like 29. No, 29.
I think it's 30, bro.
It actually is 30.
30, because it's episode 5 of the season, right? This is episode 5?
It's episode 5.
Wow.
We're on episode 30 total. Welcome.
Steph Curry. I'm Chris.
I'm Cam.
And together, we're the SimmBros.
And we're here to talk sports, people. Okay, a lot to break down. We obviously just saw the Super Bowl. There was a devastation on one side of the
shellacking, as they call it,
of the equation, and a very happy win on the other side of the equation. We're gonna dive deep into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course, I'm with you.
You act like,
okay.
hey, you gotta set the scene,
okay,
bro.
Yeah. I was gonna do some banter first.
You think I'm not a scene setter?
Okay.
I'm not Bill. I'm not gonna go straight into it. I was gonna set the scene.
You can't talk about him like that. He's gonna listen. He's gonna be mad.
I hope he listens. Anyway, what's up with you? How you doing? Long weekend.
Valentine's Day weekend. Any plans? Just another Saturday, huh?
I didn't even know. I'm actually being honest. I went into Trader Joe's. I'm like, why is everybody buying flowers?
No, I think when someone was walking out, I think we misinterpreted what happened because I saw the guy with flowers and I said respect. And I don't think you noticed what I was saying respect to. Like, that's what I was saying respect to.
Oh, I think about the bum who's like, was like combing his hair.
No.
I was like, respect.
No, I saw the guy.
Hey, you never know when you gotta look
I
good.
said respect. So that's why. But then when we were leaving the other store, we saw all like these people.
Oh,
with, like,
I think about the guy. One guy was eating. I mean,
yeah, he's eating a burrito.
It was a burrito, and he ate it in 2 bites. It was unreal.
But standing up,
That's
at that point, you have you're just like not even relaxing.
It was unreal. It was not a small burrito either.
No,
I know, guys. It was regulation size burrito. Guy ate in 2 bites. It was unreal. That's why I thought you were saying respect.
No. I mean, then you told me that. I was like, that is respect. So, whatever. Long weekend, needed it.
Actually, yeah,
absolutely needed it. It's one of those weeks, one of those times. You know, it's like, when's the next one? You know, the next one's not till Memorial Day. We got to finesse another one, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
We should have St. Patrick's Day off. Like, I don't know why they do
what
that.
happened to that. Do we get that day off?
Not anymore. Should it be day off after? I don't know. Whatever.
But again, the biggest thing that's great about all of this is next year it'll be Super Bowl Sunday into President's Day Monday.
Wow.
So you at least have the day off. And there's been some discourse. People are mad that it's later in the February.
Yeah.
First of all, it's been the second Sunday of February since they added the 17th game. So this is nothing new. It's just this is the first time that it falls on literally the last.
This will be the last.
This is the last
day.
possible day that it could be the second Sunday.
Yeah. So will be like this for 1 year, and then like 7 more years. Where
literally,
it
won't be like this. The next year it's gonna be on like the 13th.
13th, yeah.
And it's gonna keep going up. But either way, this is great news. This is what it always should be because we know, especially if it's a good Super Bowl. Look, you're drinking, you're eating food you're probably not supposed to be eating, but it's the Super Bowl. You got to celebrate. That's basically a holiday. You need the day off to recover.
See, so what I'm saying is like you think that's good, which it is. What I'm saying is that maybe in how many years from now there's Super Bowl Monday. It's just Super Bowl Monday's off, and then you get President's Day the next day. Imagine 2 straight.
No.
But imagine that. Why could there not be a Super Bowl Monday day off?
Super Bowl Monday should be President's Day. That's like the perfect look.
I'm just saying like we could do another one. Like it'll be 2 4-day weeks. Like what?
I'm all
that?
believe me. I'm all for not working and getting another holiday. But let's just be serious here. They're not going to get another holiday. Look.
They got Juneteenth, didn't they? I'm just saying.
President's Day being after Super Bowl is ideal.
It's only gonna happen once.
It happens. It's the 3rd Monday, right?
So I guess it could happen next year, the year after, and possibly the year after that. But then after that, I feel like when you get to the 10th,
because then next year it's President's Day on Valentine's Day.
Oh, that would be crazy. I think it is.
I guess
it makes sense, right?
Yeah, we're going double holiday.
Too many things going on right now. Back to the game. Seahawks 29, Patriots a measly 13. It was 13, right?
Couldn't be more measly.
Yeah, I felt like I was like 6.
It wasn't 13. It's the same way the Chiefs got 22 points.
Yeah. You're gonna look back and be like, oh, it was only a 60-point game. Like the same thing with the Broncos. 18-point game.
Yeah.
It was 29, and then it was like, the Broncos was 24-10 over the over the Panthers.
Total, yeah.
You were like, because when I look back at that Super Bowl, I was like, I didn't think it was that close at all with the Broncos one, and
it wasn't.
It wasn't, and 14 points feels like it's kind of close, and then
I don't know, 2-score game.
Yeah, like there's a chance. Again, that's crazy. Cam Newton, they don't even try for the end zone. Whole different story, but
unreal.
Seahawks dismantle, demolish. How many other words you want me to use? It was over from the jump, pretty much. I said and Cam can react to this or tell me confirm. Yeah, that's what it was. That once there was a first play to Kenneth Walker, 10-yard run, and then there were a couple other things that happened in between. I think it was like the fourth play. It was like this the deep corner to Cooper Kupp, and I said the game's over. I said it was over after that. I was like, I just thought it was over because if Seattle could move the ball like that, easy, it was like it looked like it was going to be over from the beginning. I mean, we knew they weren't going to be able to score.
The whole thing is like, look, they're not going to be able to run.
Yes, exactly.
And Sam Darnold probably won't be able to pass. And when they're able to do both of those things in a matter of 4 plays, you're like, okay,
I think especially when they were able to run, like you said, especially like the first play of the game, you don't think you can run, right? Like Kenneth Walker bounced it outside 10 yards, and it's a great drive start. You don't know how Seattle is going to react getting the ball first, right? Sam Darnold, it's a Super Bowl. You get the ball first.
Yeah.
And that's how they react.
Unreal. First of all, go Hawks. How about that? Remember when Russ used to do that at the end of his press conference?
No, this is Broncos country. What's the Giants? What's the Giants?
he hasn't been interviewed.
Yeah, but what is the Giants? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I was making that video on Jackson Dart, and I wanted to figure out what it is.
I don't know.
Is it New York? I think it is Football Giants. That's probably right.
I don't know. But either way, so funny. Russ also, for anybody, I recommend watching the in-season Hard Knocks. Russ, after he was, completely made the backup and actually third-string QB, he tries his hardest to get in every frame of that show as possible. It's unreal. It's almost unethical, but that's just classic Russ, I guess. He'll be on a new team, apparently. Him and Kirk. We'll talk about that later. But yes, Seahawks, back to the game. Unreal. I mean, look, it wasn't even a fair matchup, if we're being honest, because the Seattle defense, and I'm watching this, the
mic'd up makes it even more glaring.
They're a hive mind defense. They think as one, they move as one, they act as one. They're unbelievable. This dark side defense that, first of all, I want people to understand, like the Legion of Boom. When do you think of the Legion of Boom? Who do you think of? You think of that Seattle secondary, right? The no-fly zone for the Denver Broncos. You think of that Broncos secondary. Maybe you throw Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware in there. But dark side defense, that's a whole defense. That's the backups, that's the nickels and the dimes and the the 3 techs and the wide nines. All these guys are they're all part of it. Like this guy Riley Mills got his first sack of his NFL career in the Super Bowl.
Crazy.
And they're celebrating with him like he's not some rookie. It's unreal. So truthfully, I see this defense as an all-time defense. They all should be very proud of what they were able to do. And they just completely shut down Drake Maye. I don't care that he got 2 touchdowns. Those 2 touchdowns were way too late. I mean, we're thinking about it. Like, I think it was 6 straight punts to open the game.
Yeah.
And then it was halftime.
And it was like 8 of 9 drives for 3 and outs. Something like that.
3 and outs. They weren't even getting a first down. They also weren't close to getting a first down. I think the closest they were was that 3rd and 4.
And
3rd and 4 when they ran.
Yeah.
Because that's what Josh McDonald liked to do with Brady.
Yeah.
But either way, he ran with Drake Maye. He ran it with Ramondre Stevenson. Obviously didn't work. And they just got nothing the rest of the game. And it was pretty boring. There's a lot of punts. But, I mean, as a guy who appreciates special teams, I was very happy with the Seahawks.
As a guy who appreciates
and Michael Dixon. He had the best game.
Michael Dixon was great. He punted well against the Rams, too. The swirling punts, getting all that stuff out of there. Like,
Xavier, he bobbled it twice.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hidden yardage in special teams that you don't think about, especially on things like holds or punts. Like, right, like especially holding during a punt. Like you never remember. It's never like you could hold during a punt and a guy can get a 40-yard return. You're like, oh, it's 30-yard return. No, it's from where the hold was. Yeah. So that could really be like a 50, 60-yard, like, on the other way. Like, think about that, right? Like, obviously an extreme situation. But Dixon is so good at that because you think, okay, just because the punt, that's the reason why, you think the punt and the hold are like 2 separate things. But no, it's because the punt is so high or whatever. It's done at the right moment that it causes someone else to hold on the other team, right? Like that's how it works. And I think seeing how he was just unbelievable and how, Mike McDonald's changing what you think about how to manage the game, right? I think there were a couple times in the plus 40 that they were on the plus 40, New England 40, where, it's time to go for it, right? Anyone else would go for it. Every single coach would go for it.
We saw every coach go for it this postseason besides these 2, literally.
Every coach would go for it. And he's like, nope, I'm going to punt it. And the reason why it's, first of all, is because he has the best punter in the league.
Yes.
They pay the most. They invest in the punter.
Good.
Right? So he trusts that. And also, like the punter can execute, right? Because usually what happens is you're like a person like McVay or Shanahan, your special teams is not great, right?
Of course.
So you don't trust your punter to actually pin them within. So then at that point, like, I actually understand why you go for it, because at that point you're giving up 20 yards of field position. Like, it's not that much different. But when you actually know your punter is going to do what he did, then it's like, why would I not pin them at the 1? Weren't they pinned at the 1 in 1.2? Like, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, that's why it's like, McVay's like, well, if we don't get this, well, they'll be at the 35 anyway, so it doesn't even matter, right? So like, that's where it's like
so annoying. And like, my thing is, all these coaches think that it's just like, oh yeah, you know what? We're gonna have a really good offense. Our defense is gonna be sick. They're gonna fly around. It's like, what about special teams, coach?
Mm-hmm.
What? Like it's part of it.
Yeah.
And like, they don't even care. I mean, Canales didn't even know he had Isaiah Simmons on his team. Again, I hate Canales. Guy had his headset up on defense.
Yeah.
You're the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. Put your headset down.
Crazy.
Talk to the rest of your team. But anyway, yeah, Michael Dixon, fantastic. He absolutely won them a couple games. I mean, he won them that Rams game. The difference was a Xavier Smith bobble, and also Sean McVay running 30 seconds off on the clock when there's about 140 left.
It was less than that.
Less than 130.
I think it was 113.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 113.
Either way, he took no time off the clock. But that's.
Well, yeah. So more thoughts on the game. Like,
yes.
How did it go?
Yeah.
Kind of,
So it was definitely a great game. I think the Seattle defense really took over. They were disguising their coverages. There was another clip of how their Patriots were using a lot of free motion, pre-snap motion.
Yeah.
And that like the indicator would be that it would be zone, and the Seahawks would like go man after the snap, and the indicator would be man, and they would go zone after the snap. It was just like Drake Maye, like, to do that to a young quarterback, do that to any quarterback is messed up, but to do that to a young quarterback like Drake Maye in the biggest moment of his life, he was absolutely not ready. This guy was seeing ghosts, and it's because Mike McDonald, allows his defense to kind of like fly around. He gives them the framework, and he's like, hey, look, I trust you guys. You guys are professionals. We'll make it happen. And they made it happen. And they became one of the best defenses of all time because of what Mike McDonald has allowed them to do and what the talent that they had. It's really just unreal because, I mean, all these guys, they're so young too.
Yeah.
Gonna have to pay some people to keep them next year. But either way, great. That was fantastic. New England defense wasn't really talked about enough.
Great game from them.
Yeah, Christian Barmore, Mill Williams on the mic'd up. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see.
Rough. They said
I didn't really listen to it.
It wasn't us.
Yeah, they really like say
it wasn't us.
So I didn't really listen to it. Did they really say it like that?
I also didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was like, did they really say it like that?
No, I'm waiting to watch the full thing just so I can take all my notes.
And
video coming out on that.
Have the context for it too, because you never know. They pull things out random.
Oh yeah, but like, I don't know. That's still a crazy thing to say. Period.
And it's crazy thing NFL Films put it out there. That's why I don't know.
They usually don't.
That's why I don't know if it was like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could also say like we played a good game. Like that's maybe what it was. I'd hope. But I think Mike McDonald proved that he's the best coach in the NFL. Why is he not?
Dude, you know what?
Why should he not be the best coach in the NFL? We made this video before. People are going to want crazy.
Yeah, people are going to want to fight that, but who's the better coach than
Yeah. Why? Like,
and
what he's able to do on defense is unbelievable. And what we want to talk about here is you'll watch the mic'd up, but we're talking about right now like the subcontractor head coaching method model, right? Where it's I'm going to bring in this offensive coordinator to be the quote unquote head coach, but all they're going to do is run the offense. Like think about when Mike McDaniel went there, right? Like that was one. Zach Taylor is another one, right? Like they're the head coach, but really what head coach means is just highest ranking offensive mind. Like that's really all it means.
Yeah.
Head coach, you run the offense. I'm going to bring in a defense coordinator. They're going to run defense. Special teams coordinator is going to do that. And we're never actually going to interact with each other because for some reason the game is like three separate things as opposed to all three things in one. That's a separate point. But where McDonald was really cool and showed that he was actually head coach is two things. Clint Kubiak in his Las Vegas Raiders intro press conference was talking about like how much Mike McDonald helped him out. And you would think, Mike McDonald's a defensive coach, Clint Kubiak's offense. Like how could they even talk to each other, right? Like Sean McVay, how is he going to talk to Chris Shula, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, Clint Kubiak was saying, Mike McDonald challenged me more than anyone in the building as a defensive coach. Like he was afraid to talk to Mike McDonald on a Monday, right? Because like Mike McDonald was going to ask him all the things that happen on the offensive side of the ball, even though you're thinking he's a defensive coach. Why should he care about that?
Thank you.
Because he should, because he's the head coach of the team.
And like the crazy thing is that this is like not. This is almost news.
That's how it used to be.
Yes.
Not anymore. It's changed.
This is almost news to these new Shanahan tree guys who are so well versed at offense. They know every single thing. They know every little in and out and all this stuff. That like they don't even make time for talking to the defense. Like, all right, defense, we got a plan for this week. No. Like that's the talk. Not okay. I was watching film, man. We need to do this. We need to do this on defense. We talk about this and then maybe implement this. Like this is what coaches do because you're the head coach. You're the head coach of the offense. You're the head coach of the defense. You're the head coach of the special teams. But now it's just defense. We're good. Special teams. We're good, right? Like that's it. And then you're just trusting all these other guys to like do what they have to do, and that's good. You should trust your coaches, but you also have to coach your coaches. And when you're not asking anything from them,
when you're not demanding of the coaches itself,
when you're not demanding like greatness from them, you're not going to get greatness from them.
Not even when you're not demanding. It's when you're also like when you're like the coaches and people can see when you're bullshitting. Like if you don't really know what you're talking about, then they're going to be like, why am I even listening to him? Right? Like if Kyle Shanahan went to the defensive room, you think he's going to really say like, hey, Steve Wilkes, I want you to run this on this play because of this happened. Like something like that, right? Or Saleh. Yeah. But you think like, They won't do that, but Macdonald knows everything, that he will go in and challenge Clint Kubiak and be like, why didn't you run this here? I would have done that.
Right.
And that's what Bill Cowher had said. Old school coach, what NFL head coaching used to be, which is the head coaches do not coach the players.
Yes.
You coach the coaches. You are the best coach, and you coach the coaches on what you want. That is the difference. And the one example of this, you can go watch the Mic'd Up, is it's 3rd and 3 at the Seattle, New England 20-something. There's 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
And it probably looks like they're going to settle for a field goal. And they cut to Mike McDonald on the mic'd up, and he's like, Clint, might be actually time for a shot here. That is coaching Clint Kubiak.
Yes.
That's not saying, Clint, you call what you want. No, it's, Clint, I know I want a shot here. And it was really that close. A better throw from Donald is probably a touchdown.
It really would have been a touchdown.
You see, like, that is such a small thing. And that right there is coaching the coaches.
Yeah,
if that was Dave Canales on the other side, we just saw. Say it's a 3rd and 6. Just make up a scenario, right? The Panthers are on defense, and it's like the same situation, right? They're probably, say the other team's at like the 35. There's like 35 seconds left. It's 3rd and something. He might be like, hey, this might be a good time for a blitz here. Like that's what you would probably say, or something. Like, hey, I want to speed him up here.
Something like that. Yeah.
But Dave Canales' headset is up. And he's just hoping the defense gets a stop. I mean, like just hoping that you can't, like you have to coach the coaches to make sure they're doing what you want because you are the head coach.
And honestly, I think there's a real problem in Carolina because no one has said anything about this.
Yeah.
No one on TV has said anything about this. The head coach is not having any communication with the rest of his team on a third or even 2/3 of the phases of football. That is not okay at all because he's so obsessed with offense. Matt LaFleur is always looking at his tablet during kickoffs and on defense because he's so concerned. Why didn't this 3rd and 3 work with Jordan Love?
It's have an offensive coordinator for that.
Yes. What? I'm not 100% sure what these offensive coordinators do in the systems where the head coach calls the plays.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure what they do. Yeah. I don't know what they do. All I know is I'm happy with like the New York Giants, for example. They hired John Harbaugh, of course, old school CEO type head coach. He doesn't call offensive plays, doesn't call defensive plays, doesn't even call special teams plays, even though he's a special teams coach. This is a young team, an extremely young team. They actually need something like that. And I think these coaches who are also, former head coaches, they are well equipped enough to be able to kind of coach the players in a way that, that will make the players feel comfortable. It also challenges them and, allows them to get the most success possible because all these other coaches now, it's just like, hey, dude, you're my best friend. We're buddies. Like, we're high five. Like, Schottenheimer and Dak, high five, dude. Nice. But our defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even thinking about this. Like, it's not always,
It's the issue of, and we'll get back to the game in a second, but this is an important topic. It feeds into the game, obviously. But it's the issue of, it's a lot of it, right, where you're friends, like you said, you're friends with the players. When, like, reality of it is that, like, the head coach, it's unfortunate. The head coach should not be liked. Like, should not be liked by the players. He should be respected by the players.
More than respect.
It should be lonely as a head coach. And I'll go back always to my the Coach K moments when I was working with him, right?
Yep.
Like, that's how it was. Everyone was scared of him, like to death.
Yeah.
Scared of Coach K because we didn't know what he was going to say. The coaches were scared of him.
Yeah.
Right? But like the players respected him.
Yes.
And the players were buddy-buddy with the assistant coaches.
Exactly.
As it should work.
That's all.
You should not be buddy-buddy really with the head coach because the head coach is the person who has to make the tough decisions.
Yes.
When they sub you out and you're mad, that's when you go to the assistant coach and he's like, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, that's where the assistant coach helps you out. Shout out Chris Carroll. You know what I mean? Like, that's where you're like, you go to them, but you would never go to Coach K and be like, why'd you sub me out, man? Like,
oh my God.
That's the difference, right? And it's so lonely. Yeah. And only the people who are really like the older guys who are really willing to be lonely in that situation are the good coaches. Now you just want to be like, Matt LaFleur wants to be cool with Jordan Love. Like, you have to actually coach him. And
LaFleur just wants to get his hair cut and just be the cool guy.
And I think the last thing right there I'll say is like, there's too much, and this might be boomer or whatever, but I think in football there's too much like, I really think the head coach really should not call offensive plays. I think that's probably one of the biggest red flags.
I agree.
You're too close to the players at that point.
And also offensive plays are even more like demanding. Each play is more demanding of
you need to be thinking ahead for the plays
than defensive plays. Like especially with McDonald, the way he calls plays, it's not really like play. This is a play.
The play card is like super small. It's not crazy.
We're gonna play our base defense, and like you said, they have like a sort of like anybody plays basketball, like a motion offense when you're playing basketball. It's not really a play. It's just how we move to like in space. They have that kind of same thing on defense, where it's like, this is not a play, but this is what we do. You guys, I trust your judgment. You guys are professionals to make the right play and make the right decision.
And it's not a super intense.
Exactly. Like, it's not like taxing where he's like, okay, wait, what did that safety bite on the second?
Exactly.
And he's telling like, it's like, dude, like that. And again, that is extremely taxing, and somebody absolutely needs to be paying attention to that. But that somebody shouldn't also be the guy who's focused on what the special teams is doing, thinking about if I should go for two here, keeping timeouts and all these clock situations, knowing when to challenge, knowing when to talk.
You need to know that's your job.
There's a billion things.
Your job.
There's a billion things you have to do as a head coach, and like I think calling plays it's been seen, at least offensive plays. I agree. Defense can be a little bit different, but calling offensive plays is now seen as like a status symbol. I mean, we saw Dan Campbell started calling plays. I think Sirianni at one point did, not this year, but a couple years ago, and it's like, I think it's the exact opposite. That just tells me that you don't trust your coaches enough and you're not a good enough coach.
If you have a great offense, you can coach your offensive coordinator how to call a great offense, right? And
that's what it should be.
And again, as a head coach, you have obviously override ability on every single possible.
Every call.
You want to call a fake punt at your own 2-yard line? They're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
You know what I mean? Yep. So if it's a third down call, or you just have a call that you love, that something happened, you want to call a shot play, you want to do something at this point, okay, call it.
Yep.
Tell your guy, hey, I want this play instead. Or you go right to like headset into the quarterback, say, this is what I want, right? Like,
can they do that?
I don't know. I think you can. I think everybody can button in. I'm not sure though. Maybe it's only the.
I think it probably I think it might just be signal calling.
Yeah, whatever. But of course, the head coach can do that if they want. If they wanted another. Button on their headset. But that's the point. You said calling offensive plays you think is a status symbol, but it really signals more that you're not a great leader of men as a coach, because you should be leading your other offensive coaches to be able to be like you, so you can do it on autopilot. That's all what bosses are, right? You're trying as a boss, as unfortunate as it is, you want it to be so that if you weren't there, things can be pretty much seamless. And they would need you to make decisions, but like, they should be able to run an offense without you.
Right. It's like, think about the CEO, right? Literally, the actual CEO. Versus like the VP.
Exactly.
Like the VP is making all the little decisions of like, oh, wait, should we do this?
And part of like technical implementation of whatever.
And the CEO's making the big decisions of, okay, should I move my company here? Or should I cut my These are big decisions that require a CEO to make. And if the CEO is so focused on all these little menial tasks, you're not going to have the capacity to be able to be the most effective CEO when these big decisions, because that's the thing. If you mess up a couple of menial tasks, you'll be okay. You can recover from those menial tasks.
Yeah.
If you mess up some of these huge decisions, if you open up a branch in the wrong district, you're cooked. Like, you're done. Like, so the CEO needs to be focused on those big decisions. Obviously, they have to be able to weigh in on the little smaller ones, but it's just, for me, I think the NFL is backwards. I think these coaches are backwards. All these Shanahan people are like, we need to start calling plays because that's what makes us cool, and that's what we know. That's the only thing we're good at. That's the only thing we've done.
Yeah.
It's like, how about you just be a leader of men? How about you just coach your coaches to coach?
That's it.
It's just that simple.
That goes back to Macdonald. Like, super long-winded way of saying Macdonald is really acting like
yes, shout out Macdonald,
a head coach in the NFL by telling him, as a defensive background coach, telling his offensive coordinator what to do. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do as a coach. And that's why the Seahawks are great. When Macdonald challenges his special teams, when he challenges his offense to be just as good as his defense, and he's not just saying be better, he's providing suggestions on how to be better. He is the best. Macdonald is the best coach in the room on all three phases of the ball. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you want to think Clint Kubiak, like Macdonald actually is probably the best coach of offense. Yeah. You might think that sounds crazy, but he actually is, because that's why he's a head coach. Bill Belichick started in offense. Mm-hmm. Like, you think he's a defensive coordinator. He started in offense. So how much offense do you think he knows?
He started in offense, then became the greatest defensive coordinator of all time.
Yes.
And then became the greatest head coach of all time.
Yes.
And people were like, oh, yeah, he could have called plays.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, he could have called plays. You're 100% right. On offense, defense and
special teams. Oh, he could do the whole game if he wanted.
But he didn't, because that's not how you coach. It's just that simple.
Yeah. People. But yeah, so crazy game for Macdonald. I think the one thing you should talk about, or I'll let you go about this, was Witherspoon. I thought that was a great wrinkle by Macdonald. So, like, in a Super Bowl, you always want to throw things at teams that they've never seen before.
Right.
And Devon Witherspoon was like one of those biggest wrinkles, and you can talk about
it. Yeah, I mean, think about it. In the Super Bowl, these teams got 2 weeks plus to look at tape.
Yep. They can look at every single thing.
They'll find every single thing. They'll find every wrinkle in every little small nook and cranny. So you have to be able to surprise them in the postseason, in the Super Bowl specifically. Devon Witherspoon was never a guy who would come through on the corner blitz.
They really times all year. That's it.
They wouldn't really even corner blitz all that often. Yep. Like, they were always able to get pressure with 4. So, like, blitzing Devon Witherspoon was just like overkill.
Yep.
And so the Pats knew, okay, as long as we can protect Drake from these 4 with our 5, we'll be okay.
Yep.
And that's why Seattle was calling blitzes all day. They would rush him 5, 6, often on these 3rd and longs, important downs. Really, it wasn't first down they were blitzing, or second down they were blitzing. 3rd and long is like, I don't even want Drake Maye to get enough time to even think about throwing a deep ball,
because they knew he was speeding up
he also is, at least before that, was the most accurate deep ball thrower, the most accurate thrower, period, in the NFL. I think in NFL history, maybe.
I don't know.
It's 73%, I think, was the most ever. But either way, they just didn't even give Drake the opportunity to think about throwing deep. These corner blitzes came out of nowhere, and it absolutely was dialed in perfectly. Even Mike McDonald, sometimes he was like, come on, Spoon, like on his mic. He knew it was coming. Shout out Mike McDonald. Shout out Devon Witherspoon. I mean, this defense was just so fun to watch. I was definitely a hater at first because I played against them in fantasy football one time, and they cooked. Against me.
I remember that one.
Yes, that was
a great time.
No, that Brosmer one.
That was a great time.
He literally threw it back. But either way, I was a hater at first. I appreciate that defense so much.
And I really do appreciate
it. Really is Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I appreciate Mike McDonald's mild-manneredness, too. He really shows that, like...
Oh, dude, it's not about him.
No,
it's not about him. Dude, Belichick, and this is another thing, Belichick said players win games, coaches lose them.
Yep.
Right? Not vice versa. Coaches
and that's the greatest coach of all time right there.
And that's exactly what you need your head coach to be thinking. And I think out of all coaches, I think Mike McDonald exemplifies that. Mike Vrabel, I think, also exemplifies that. And that's why they were in the Super Bowl.
Because I think that also, again, it comes down to a point. We're going to be talking about this throughout this offseason of football, about this head coaching stuff. But that comes down to the point where that, like, it's like Vrabel and McDonald and even like Tomlin, right? They're the defensive guys, it's always you don't get love, right? It's always like the defense is not as important, right? No. But like you think, like you just said, like Belichick too, right? It was like coaches lose them. But like people like McVay and Shanahan, like, no, coaches win them because they call the right play at the right moment.
Sean Payton,
exactly. Like he wanted to win the game. Yeah. Like he was trying to win the game and be like, it was a coaching masterclass.
Unreal,
right? And like that's where the difference goes, and that's where it's like. It's insane to me when you see this and when you really look at that, the fact that these offensive minds don't win Super Bowls. Andy Reid is the most head coach of this offensive line, and he's won. And McVay's won, and that's it.
That's it.
I mean,
dude.
Like, if you want to count Sirianni, he's actually a CEO head coach, which is crazy. So
believe it or not,
he is.
And that was really Kellen Moore, who was again another head coach calling plays.
Yes,
how are the Saints doing?
Yeah,
but he was he was great calling plays, and Sirianni was just like, great. I got Kellen Moore on one side. I got Vic Fangio on the other.
Don't want to do anything.
I'm great.
I've been called time. Oh yeah, and then we can talk.
I mean, he's still probably not the best example, but
I mean, he's the CEO head coach.
Exactly. So
like, think about that.
And all these guys, McVays and LaFleurs,
Zach Taylor,
and Zach Taylor, Shanahan. All these guys, they get their haircuts, they crop their pants.
Yep.
It's all about me. Like,
that's exactly right.
Even Mike McDonald wearing the hoodie that said, "I wish it were colder." It's like, I actually respect that. And I do think it's funny. But, like, it's not even about you.
It's not about you.
Dude, I wish it were colder. You're coaching. You're not the one getting hit.
You're not playing.
You can't be saying, I wish it were colder.
Exactly.
If one of the players would, I'd be like,
funny. Yeah.
Hey,
when they go no shirt or whatever, and like,
they're the ones doing it. Like, it's up to them. But Mike, it's all about you. It's like, it's me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at this. Look at this cool new haircut. Look at this cool new play. Ben Johnson. Oh, we're about to do a fake fumble. Have you ever seen that play before?
Exactly.
It's about to be shown on ESPN all week. Get ready. It's like, wait, what about your defense in that critical 3rd and 4 when you gave up the No, but think about the fumble play, right? It's just like, dude, that's all these guys care about. And we see it now that, like, these offensive contractor head coaches are actually some of the worst coaches in the NFL.
They're detrimental as far as, like, head coaching wise, as far as coaching the game wise. They're good play callers.
There's just so much to focus on as a head coach, and I think this is where Robert Saleh missed the ball. There's so much to focus on as a head coach that, like, actually calling offensive plays, the right offensive plays at the right time,
is low on the totem.
It's almost impossible to do all those things.
Oh, yeah.
And Robert Saleh was like, I was just the guy who called timeouts and threw the challenge flags. Like, dude, if that's what you really
haven't thought about,
if that's what you actually thought being the head coach was about, like, I wish Bill Belichick could react to that, or like any other like really good head coach would react to that, because that's just unreal.
Because that's just like, you are diminishing what it means to be a coach at that point.
Yes.
When you don't call plays, like, so as someone who you say, I just had a challenge flag in this, well, you're the one who's saying, well, if this happens, what am I going to do here?
Right.
Like, well,
if they score,
if they end up going for 2, what do I need to come back? Like, are we going to punt here? Or if it's 4th and 2, what are we going to call? What am I going to tell him to do if this happens? That is what you were doing.
Yes, I gotta go. This corner got beat a couple times. Should I take him out? Would that ruin his mentality? It's like this.
Or then I'm bringing the offensive defensive coordinators together and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to finish the game. I want this. I want to make sure we're running the ball outside because they're doing this on this. Like, do this, and then defensively, I'm seeing this. So I want you to do this and this.
I know.
That is literally it.
Dude. And no,
that is
Saleh is in that still Shanahan coaching tree where it's like, he was the same way. He's just literally the actual opposite of, like, I'm so focused on the defense and nothing else. Like, offense, we're good, right? It's like, well, no, Nate Hackett is not good.
Yeah,
actually. But it's like, that's the real thing. It's just like, if that's what you really think all the job was, you were doing the job wrong. And I'm 23. Why am I telling you
And it's so hard.
It's unreal.
You get so many people, when you post on social media and stuff,
people don't get
so many people who don't get it. It's a lot of young people who don't get it, which is fine. Like, we're thinking further than what it is, right? But that's the point. Like, by you saying you only had the challenge flag and timeouts, diminished the whole position, and honestly, frankly, disrespected the position. Like, to a lot of people,
100%
disrespectful to 100%. Like how you call it. Just because you call plays, 100%. You think now you're more valuable.
Right?
You're not more valuable because you call defensive plays.
Anything, you're less valuable because now you're just so much less focused on other stuff. Like, think about it. The offensive in the CEO system, the offensive coordinator is focused on every single thing offensively.
Get yards.
But it's a lot of stuff, right? Yep. But it's focused on every single thing offensively. Looking at defensive tendencies on offense, right? Defensive guys, same thing, but just for the defense. Special teams, same thing for special teams. It's like, you as the head coach have to be in charge of all of that. Yeah. All of that. You have to be better than all 3 of them.
I want to cut you off there and say one thing, right? What? That's right when you say that. And one of the greats or frauds, I don't know, Michael Lombardi would say that the reason why a good head coach is great, who's CEO, a good CEO head coach is great, is because what the offensive coordinator should want to do is just, like, he would always say this, gain as many yards as possible, how to score as many points as possible, right?
Yeah.
That should be your only focus.
It's true.
And same thing in defense. How do I give up as little, like, yards and points as possible? Yep. And it's where the head coach comes in to bring the reins of one side, being like, hey, we don't need to score here. Like, field goal's fine or whatever. Like, you have to stop the offensive coordinator from doing too much, right? Like, you have to pull them back. And at the same time, you do the same thing for the defensive coordinator. Hey, maybe we don't blitz here. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not worth it. But, like, that should be, like, the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator should be so fired up to do their own job to get the most yards that you come in and you stop them when they're needed. But then the same thing what you just said with, like, someone like Ben Johnson, right? Yep. You can't be a head coach and an offensive coordinator at the same time, because what are you worried about more about what you're going to run on 3rd and 7, what cute play you're going to run, or about winning the game? Like, you can't do both. It's literally humanly impossible.
You think about these teams, it's like the Niners had a bad defense all year. The Bears had a bad defense all year. Like, the Rams special teams was bad all year. Packers special teams was bad all year. And even their defense was pretty solid because they had a future head coach.
It's been bad. Packers special teams bad since LaFleur was been.
And
there.
it's just like, why has nobody even said anything or figured this out? It's like, calling offensive plays makes you a worse head coach. And I think it's just as simple as that. The offensive coordinator should be focused on the offense. The defensive coordinator should be focused on the defense. And that you as the head coach have the authority to overrule any single person, because you should know more than every single person. But at the end of the day, you have to allow your coaches to coach. I don't know what the offensive coordinator in the Rams does. I don't know what the offensive coordinator for the Packers does, because these are fake titles. Like, they're just passing game coordinators.
Yeah.
That with a shiny new promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unreal.
But yeah, 12-0 heading in to the second half, right? It was 12-0 or 9-0? 12. It was 12, right?
I think it was 9 at the half.
9.5? Okay, 9-0?
Yeah.
12-0 ended up being, and then just the Patriots couldn't get anything done.
No,
it was just brutal when you're watching. It's like,
and that's why
they really can't do it.
That's why I love Mike McDonald. And again, just to kind of put a button on it almost.
Yep.
It's like,
we'll get back to this later. Don't you worry.
Mike McDonald calls defensive plays, which is fine. I think that's great, right? I think that's the only exception. But he also is so involved in the offense. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming out of the half, the mic'd up was so revealing. It felt like Mike Vrabel the entire time was just like, guys, you just got to believe.
They didn't believe.
And again,
they did not believe.
The score is not 28 to 3.
Yeah.
It's 9-0.
And everyone
and he's holding jerseys like, guys, you got to believe. Heads up. It's 9-0.
And
Are you kidding me?
was saying on the broadcast, he was like,
yes,
he was saying if they had gone up,
I think it was 12.
It was 12 and a half, right? He was saying if they had gone up, maybe it was, I remember, but if they had gone up 13-0, this was when they were going to score.
6,
he was like, this game might be in serious trouble.
And this is
unbelievable.
He's saying this in the middle of the second quarter, people. Yes. We're talking about this game was uneven. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think Vrabel was really, they knew, like, the mic'd up
they were defeated from the beginning.
No, that's what I'm saying. The mic'd up is very telling. I think everybody should watch it. It's 40 minutes long. It's also great. I love mic'd up. But Vrabel is holding his team by a thread. They felt like they already beat themselves mentally. And then when you look at Seattle on the other side, they're all hyped up and dancing. And it's 6-0. You know, because at the end of the day, a lot can happen. 6-0.
It's one touchdown.
I mean, in the middle of the second quarter, we've seen some unbelievable things happen, and it's 6-0.
Oh, yeah.
One team is celebrating. One team is hyped. The other team is like,
if anything, you're like, dude, we made it. We exactly 2 field goals. Like, we're in a great spot.
The other team is like, pick your heads up, guys. Pick your heads up. It's 6-0.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that was really the most.
They were done.
The Pats beat themselves before the game even started.
They didn't think they had a chance to win, if I'm being honest.
No.
I said this like, you thought it was going to be closer. I never thought it was going to be close, and that's actually one thing I'll give myself a little credit. I was like,
yep, you did.
Seattle. The only way this game would be close is if Seattle made it close. Like these teams weren't close, and that's why you say like the Rams are so upset, because the Patriots really weren't that good. Like, they were good at the start of the year when, playing a really easy schedule. But I mean, those 3 playoff games, right? It's like, Houston probably should be in the Super Bowl. Or at least Denver, if Bo Nix can get hurt on the last play of the game.
It should have been Buffalo. But, like, they were never going to make it. He had a broken foot. But honestly, another thing that I actually picked up from the mic'd up was Mike Vrabel. This is my theory, right? Mike Vrabel, pulling everybody, like, keep your heads up, stay positive, stay positive. It's because over the course of their Patriots season, they were never in a time of turmoil. They were never in a bad spot.
Interesting.
They never had a good comeback win against a good team because they played against terrible teams. And look, it's not their fault. They played against terrible teams, but they played against some terrible teams, And like maybe the Ravens game is the only one I'll be like, hey, that was like they were down for a little bit and then they got the lead back. But like it just felt like they just had nothing to grasp on. Like Tom Brady and his 28-24 win over the Seahawks in the Super Bowl when it was 24-14, they were down 10 in the fourth quarter. He said to his guys, we've been in worse situations than this, fellas, and he's 100% right. And look,
that brought you into 28-3 game.
And people talking about 10 points is nothing. Like against that defense, 10 points was a whole lot in the fourth quarter. And so Brady was like, we've been in worse situations than this. And they had been in worse situations than this. This time, they had not been in worse situations than this. And like, it felt like Vrabel was like, come on, guys, come on. Like, we can do it. But it's crazy when your first real, I guess, moral win or like really tough victory is going to come in the Super Bowl. It seems unlikely for that to happen. And the schedule is a big factor.
I have 2 points to that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point when you talk about they've never been in that moment where they're usually winning or they're like, it's not this where it feels like they're so far off.
Right.
And one thing you say first, like Brady used in that when you say we've been in worse situations than this, right? Then he uses that when they're down 28-3. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So he uses the Malcolm Butler thing as like, you move when they're, hey, guys, you guys remember that? Like, etc. Yeah. But I also think the same theory I have, kind of a similar one, is like, I think the Patriots bought into the noise that they really weren't good. Like, I think it wasn't they were, because the whole thing was like the Seahawks are just going to win this game pretty easily. Like the Patriots haven't really played anybody, and they haven't looked good in the playoffs either.
No,
and that was the one thing where I was like, it wasn't like the Patriots were world beaters. No, and like they won, and then maybe because the snow game happened in the AFC Championship game, if that was close, that's one thing. But it's not like they were rolling over these teams.
No, they were
barely winning these games. I mean, and taking superhero efforts from the defense.
Absolutely.
So I think the Patriots themselves, it's hard to not, when you're in these media days often and you're seeing this on everything, ESPN, everybody's analyzing everything, and it's just like looking at the teams, you're like, the Patriots have no chance in this game.
I mean, look,
and I think they really realized, like, we're not as good at this team. I mean, and they knew it from the beginning.
I mean, Seattle, the thing about the public was all over Seattle -4.5, the most ever spread bet in history, the most one-sided spread bet in Super Bowl history.
Yep.
Because, and then, like, you think they don't see it? You think they don't hear about it? You think they don't feel that? Like, they feel it. No one believed in him, and they were right not to believe in him. And I know I'm talking a lot about mic'd up, but I think it does tell you a lot about people's psyche in the moment, especially because everybody can say whatever they want after the game. But like when you forget that you have a microphone on you and you're just talking to your teammate, it's really important. 28-3 game, Atlanta. Julian Edelman was mic'd up. He's down 28-3 in the Super Bowl in the middle of the third quarter, guys. 28-3 against the best offense. They're not going to win this game. Julian Edelman, all he says is going to be a hell of a story.
Yep.
Not, all right, guys, maybe we could get one drive together and maybe we can make it happen. Like I saw Diggs a lot of, it starts with you guys, and like in offensive lines, like, okay, like that's something to say, but I don't think that's also the best thing. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. Like,
you guys got to be better.
It was after a sack. He was like, it starts with you guys. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's kind of backhanded. But Julian Edelman's telling everybody it's going to be a hell of a story. And he was 100% right. And like, it really does start from how you believe. Like,
it's belief. It's so belief. Do you actually believe you can win this game?
Do you believe you can win this game?
That's
Especially
the question.
Now in this situation, which again, it could be a whole lot worse.
It could have been 24-0.
It could
21-0.
Lesson in life, it could always be worse.
It really can.
It like everybody always thinks, oh man, it's so bad. No. I promise it could always be worse.
Yep.
Do you believe you can get out of this situation? If you do, you will. If you don't, you won't. It's that simple. The old saying, those who think they can and those who think they can are both right. Amen.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Julian Edelman and that Patriots team and that Tom Brady team, that Bill Belichick team had the belief, right?
And this Patriots team didn't have the belief.
No belief. They didn't think
they were going to win.
I mean, Morgan Moses is giving the most heartfelt, impassioned speech ever. Everybody's like,
yeah,
okay.
Like, they know.
They had nothing going on.
They know. And on the flip side,
go ahead.
Again, you said watching the mic'd up is really important. It is because it gives you the mindsets of the players. And on the other side, I think it was just really, really cool for me to see how connected the Seahawks were.
It was unreal.
Everybody was a part of the dark side, even the offense. Like, weirdly, you know what I mean?
No, I'm gonna factor that in. JSN got the Sam Darnold overthrew him. Dude, every single 5-star corner, like Willen, Witherspoon, Joe, all these guys came up to him like, "You're good,
yep.
and we're gonna get you back." Like crazy.
That doesn't usually happen. There was that other play too, where I think it was the guy who got the sack, forgot his name, But
Riley
the
Mills?
white guy, yeah. Exactly. and then he goes over and then he was like, we got to do more for you guys, right? Or no, the other way. I forgot. It was
Zabel.
Yeah, Zabel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Zabel said that. I think it was to Leonard Williams or somebody. He's like,
we'll
be doing more for you guys. Don't worry about that. And I was just thinking, like, we need to score for you guys is what he was saying to the defensive side because he knows they're not pulling their weight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you don't normally see that offense and defense be so connected like that in the biggest game. Usually, good thing they were winning.
Yeah.
But usually it's like, oh my God, the defensive players.
That's what they were doing.
They're gonna hate me.
No, they were doing that on the Pats side.
Yeah.
And like especially you don't see that with a rookie and a long veteran.
Yep.
Veteran who's been successful basically his entire career.
Yep.
Like and like you don't see that sort of connect.
Being able to connectivity. Being able to go to him and say that.
Right.
He usually be like, get off me, bro.
Yeah,
like,
real quick.
Like, why don't you score the ball?
No, they've established
like score the ball.
They've established that like team camaraderie that is it was at a level that was unmatched because the Rams, you could make the argument that the Rams had the more talent, right? Yeah. But who was the better team?
No, Seahawks.
And I think the Seahawks was a better team
by far. I think that's really all there was to say about that. Like the Patriots kind of lost it before they even played, and the Seahawks really won it. Like that's something in life. Like when you're like, if you lose a mental battle before you even try something, like you're gonna lose.
You'll never.
And Vrabel, you could just. It was like super weird. It's like, why does he have to console all these guys when they're down 12-0?
No, 3-0.
Yeah.
It was actually 0-0. Yeah. Oh no, it was 3-0 because they got the goal. 3-0. They didn't get a.
Like that's a big stop for you. They're in the red zone.
Yes. Like, and we're like, hey, long game. It's like Vrabel. There's 12:43 left in the first quarter. What are we talking about?
7 minutes left in the game.
I mean, what are we talking about? Yeah. So it was doomed from the beginning. Again, it's the same thing of when you think you're gonna lose, when you think you're gonna fail, you find those little small things
it's
that
going
happen
to make you think you're gonna fail.
Right,
more.
it's like
you're gonna find it
when you look for brown stuff. The beige shit you see is gonna start to look brown.
Yep.
Right. So it's the same thing in life. I think this is a good life lesson.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
It's a great life lesson. So two things. Let's talk about the quarterbacks real quick before we move on to the next topic. So Sam Darnold, we'll kind of leave him for the burner. He had a good NFC Championship game. Not his best game in this game.
He didn't have a debilitating Super Bowl, but he had a bad Super Bowl.
Yeah, not great. Not great. No turnovers, which is at least fine.
Right.
Like
I'd say it was bad.
Yeah,
but it
was bad.
It wasn't devastating.
Yeah, he didn't lose the game. But I want to talk about more Drake Maye.
Go for it.
So do you think this is, young quarterback, he maybe was a little bit hurt, like first Super Bowl. Is it that? Or was he given like the fact that he was second in MVP voting, is that a little too premature for this? Like, because he really looked overmatched. No, I know it's a tough defense, but like Matthew Stafford versus him in the same against the same defense, it's night and day.
It's a good question. I really do think Drake Maye absolutely deserved number 2 in MVP voting. I thought he was fantastic during the regular season. Yeah. Look, he can't control who he plays against, and when he played against bad teams, he performed well.
I'll say I think he deserved MVP voting, but firmly second.
Right, right.
Firmly
second.
Okay.
Believe me.
Yeah.
He deserved number 2 in MVP voting. When he played against bad teams, he performed well. The fact that it was that close between him and Stafford is a travesty and a train wreck. And Mina Kimes, I don't care who you are, you're a hater. Matthew Stafford absolutely deserved it.
Theo Ash, you too, brother.
Theo Ash, yeah, you're watching. But either way, yes. Was this a bad loss for Drake Maye? I don't think it was a bad loss in terms of a devastating loss, because think about all the young QBs, especially the young great QBs who won Super Bowls. I think of Mahomes when he won in 2019. He played against the 2019 49ers defense. Nothing historic there. They were a good defense, nothing historic.
Fair.
Think about Brady when he won in 2001. He played against that 2001 Rams team, which had an unbelievable offense. The defense was good, but it wasn't a historic defense. Like a lot of these young guys, when they win, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers, if anything, he had the most impressive against the Steelers when he was young in his career. But none of these guys really went up against all-time historic defenses and won. And so that's the one thing where I would give Drake Maye just a little bit of breathing room of like, hey, listen, Stafford, the MVP, and the guy who's been in the league for about 80 years couldn't get 2 wins over this team, right? He had 2 chances to get a win. He couldn't get 1. And so I'm not surprised that he lost, and I also will give him some credit. he also did not play well against any other good defense.
Yeah,
that's the one thing
that's
damning. So I would, in terms of the Super Bowl, I'm gonna give him some break. But in terms of the postseason altogether, it was terrible. It was not good enough. He needs to change it next year. And look, they're playing against the NFC North next year
and the first place
AFC. So, and they got 2 games against the Bills too. So they really have no break at any point in time.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see this.
I think they're under.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be at like 10.5.
So 2 things, and we'll get out of here before a break. But I think you always got to be wary about like the magical season. You never know. Like it just kind of worked out really well. You had such a bad year 2 years ago.
Right.
You had the 4th place schedule.
Yes, and then you also played the AFC North
exactly,
and the NFC South. Don't forget.
Yeah, the AFC North was like not what we thought it was.
No, AFC North was the 2nd worst division in the NFL.
Yeah,
if not the worst.
Everyone we thought,
the NFC South was the worst.
Yeah, exactly. So
think about it.
Everything went right. The perfect storm. The AFC, schedule. Mahomes gets hurt. Josh Allen's playing on 1 foot, which of course is going to happen. There's no Burrow. There's no Lamar. No one is in the playoffs. Exactly. Yeah, I said Mahomes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And like at that point, you limp through first 2 rounds. You beat them, but I think that you limp through. I think the Chargers you won that game, but Texans.
It was a limp.
Yeah, exactly. The Texans. Wow. I mean, they lost. The Texans lost that game.
Yes.
A couple good plays.
I hate when people ask who won the game and who lost the game. But in that case, it was clear.
And then the Broncos. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Whatever, missed field goals, but like winning the game, you deserve credit for. But how many times is the ball going to bounce your way when you have to play more consistent competition?
Yeah.
It's harder to say that like you're going to be 14-3 next time. You get all those games at home.
Oh no, no.
Like what if like we always say like you switch Stafford and May, and there are people who say like May would be better with Stafford on the Rams, which is just not true.
Unbelievable.
I don't believe that for a second.
That's unbelievable. We called that early, by the way, and we got hate.
That was our first I think 100K video on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I think
it was. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, I said if Stafford was on the Patriots, they'd be 17-0. And if May was on the Rams, they'd be 10-7.
And you actually, that's probably perfect. I think that's perfect of where I put it.
I think maybe 16-1. Maybe whatever. They'd be a little bit better than 14-3.
Oh yeah,
with Stafford.
Oh yeah.
And I think the Rams would be worse than 12-5.
Way worse.
Like I really think really think so. So that's where you have to be wary of. Like it was a really like everything worked, and it like you had to win it this year. Because it might not work out as well the next year, right? Like you say, if you go on the road for some of those playoff games, it's different.
You
on the road is different.
You really have to understand how much of a perfect storm this was for New England. I mean, 4th place AFC schedule with the other 4th place teams last year being really bad because sometimes like the Lions were in 4th place.
Yeah,
like they're not a bad team, right?
Yeah, this year.
So
you mean, yes,
right. Sorry, this year. So they had a really bad 4th place schedule. They also played the AFC North, which was really bad this year because Lamar wasn't good and like Aaron Rodgers wasn't good. Burrow hurt. They literally played Burrow when he was hurt, and obviously the Browns suck.
Yeah.
Then they also played the NFC South, and all 4 of those teams are hit or miss. Most of the time, miss.
Yep.
Especially when you're playing a 10 a.m. game in New England. Like, look, Bryce Young didn't even show up to that game.
That was crazy.
It was terrible. So when you think about how actually perfect that storm was of a schedule they had,
you had to play Tua twice. You had to play the Jets twice.
It'll never happen again. It'll never happen again because both of those things have to line up. Now they play the NFC North and
which
the AFC.
Expect all 4 teams to be okay.
And I'm pretty sure they play the AFC West as well.
Wow.
Maybe
I'm not
South.
sure.
It actually might be South.
Yeah,
I think it's the South.
West.
But either way, the South is looking good now too. And so like they're gonna have a rude awakening, and I think it'll be good for Drake Maye because people like Mina Kimes still has Drake Maye as #1 quarterback in that QB class, which we will rank very soon. That makes no sense to me. And believe me, after next year, it's not even going to be close because this guy played great against really bad teams. I mean, we're talking about Dylan Gabriel had more touchdown passes against over 500 teams.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
5-2.
Wow.
Than Drake Maye.
Yeah.
5-2. Because it's not because Dylan Gabriel threw a bunch of touchdowns, because he like Drake
played. Yeah.
And
it's not Drake's fault for not playing great teams.
But guess what? When he plays good teams next year, great teams next year, it's going to be ugly.
And you never know how this is going to affect a person's psyche. Remember, we're all human beings here. Just because they play sports, they get nervous before they play.
Yep.
They read everything about what people said, and especially when it's the last game of the season, in the biggest game of the season with 150 million people watching, and that's the way you look. That can get to you as much as you want to have, like, hard mental state, or like be like, I don't care. if that was me, I'd be the same thing. It's like, dude, it's hard not to be like, man, I really didn't play well. And it's hard to not be like, I really didn't play well. Did we have an easy schedule? Like, I didn't play well against those guys. Yep. Then you're starting to go through like, was I really even that good? Like compared to who I think I was. So that's all you got to think about. I hope for his sake he does not like regress in any way. But there's always a Super Bowl hangover, and always when you're playing better teams, it's harder to get by with, especially that roster they have. So Drake Maye did a lot, but he was clear second MVP voting, and really a rough end to the season. So with that, are we going to break?
Take a break.
All right, we're back. Chris, I got a question for you, actually, that I wanted to ask before we completely shift topics to the NBA, which we're going to talk about real quick. I want you to actually rank the 6 quarterbacks in that first round 2024 QB class.
I thought you said you wanted to wait for this.
No, I wanted to wait until the break.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, yeah, so that's what you're doing.
Yeah, because I have a new update in mind, but go ahead.
I think we have the same list.
No, not anymore. I just said I have a new update.
I think I know what you're going to do one. Okay,
yes.
So you want to do 6?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 6 to 1.
We'll just do it together.
Oh, one.
We'll do it together.
Okay. 6, I put J.J. McCarthy.
I agree with J.J. McCarthy. 5. Who's the other? Bo Nix?
No, Michael Penix.
Michael Penix. Okay,
God,
fair.
Guys,
Yeah, sorry.
We'll do it together.
I'm not prepared. You need to prepare me.
4?
Yeah. Bo Nix.
Drake Maye.
Oh, come on.
Drake Maye. Because, honestly, I saw Bo Nix will his team in the playoffs in a level that I haven't seen many quarterbacks do. And that is a big part of how I rank teams and how I rank quarterbacks. I saw Bo Nix absolutely win that game against the Buffalo Bills in a way.
He did.
His team gave up on him, and he won that game, and his ankle broke, and it's terrible because he would have beat the Pats. But anyway, I got Drake Maye at 4.
Wow.
And it's a close 4.
But
Drake Maye, what did he prove? He proved that he's really good against bad teams, which is great.
Yeah.
How good is he against good teams? Not that good. Anyway, at 3,
he's a switch.
Bo Nix.
Drake Maye.
At 2, for now, Jaden Daniels.
I agree with Jaden Daniels at 2.
And number 1 is Caleb Williams.
Caleb should be number 1.
But again, Jaden Daniels will be at number 1 after the year's over.
Is the injury not make you scared? Like,
no.
does the frame not make you scared?
Dude, his arm, he broke his arm because he fell weird.
But but that's also because of how his frame.
I'm not worried about his frame one bit.
Okay, I will say a lot of people said, he's like Lamar. But like when you look at Lamar, this is what I always notice. Like I was talking about Charbonnet, right? Like football players are huge.
Yeah, they're big dudes. They're big dudes.
And you think Charbonnet's not big. No. Compared to him, he's towering and also way bigger than Kenneth Walker.
No, he's
a
big dude, yeah.
But like the same thing when I was watching Lamar, I think they're doing him mic'd up from one of those games. I was like, oh, Lamar is super skinny, whatever. No! He is like Lamar's a big guy, where as far as like the only reason why Jaden is a little skinny, like I will say he's a little skinny.
Jamison, I'm a shock, man.
But only real ones get that. But I will say Jaden is a little skinny, man.
He is skinny.
Like, and look, that's why when he fell, his arm broke like that.
No,
that was why.
No, he's definitely skinny, and quarterbacks actually need a little bit more junk.
Like look at Tom Brady, like you said, we were looking
at
before.
Mahomes even, but when he took it, remember that when he took his shirt off?
No, he said you need a dad bod, or you need fat around you because like you're getting hit all the time. That's why like Will Levis, it was like, why are you so worried about your gun show? Like, how are you worried about throwing the football?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No, that's fair. I think I'm not worried about the frame. I'm more worried about what he can do on the field. If we're worried about injury concerns after he had 1 year with an injury, really, like I'm not.
But those are the concerns coming in,
of course.
Yep.
I think in terms of actual
and again,
football,
Devontae Smith, it hasn't been worse.
Devontae Smith,
so, yeah, exactly.
Everybody thought this guy this guy's a pure player. He's been great. I don't think he's had a real serious injury.
Yeah, that one elbow thing, but he wore that remember he wore that big brace.
It was bigger than David Ortiz.
It was like bigger than his arm.
It was like David Ortiz,
so small. But that's a football season. We'll still be checking in. We have a lot to talk about. As far as especially the coaching stuff. This is gonna be stuff we hammer in. If you listen to this, we want you guys to be, understanding about like really the history of what it means to become a head coach and like why this is so important to us. Because like we always, we started off this podcast initially where there's a lot more life advice than it was now, which is fine. Like that, at the end of the day, we're always trying to give life advice from sports. And I think this lesson in leadership from head coaches is one of the most important things that needs to be hammered home.
Yeah.
And if you really understand it, you'll always know that the CEO head coaching model is right because from the leadership standpoint, which is what we're trying to teach each and every one of you. So we're going to be hopping on that. NFL draft, a lot of new things. Franchise tag is actually, I think, tomorrow, right? Or Sunday, whatever it is. So yeah, we'll see about that. But that's it for football. The chapter is closed for this season. Seahawks are Super Bowl champions.
2025 season is closed.
And now we move on to what everyone moves on to. It's like when you go to the NBA, you realize, is this even a league? And now it's like what are we even watching at this point?
What happened to the game that I love?
Yeah.
We have teams, and I want everybody to just take a look at the calendar because this is coming out on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day,
everybody.
This is the worst Valentine's Day gift ever because we have teams who are tanking, and they've been tanking for weeks. And Adam Silver has no idea what to do besides maybe make another tournament.
Yeah.
And he has the idea to fine these billionaire owners $500,000. That's like finding you guys a couple pennies.
Yeah.
It's like, here, yeah, sure.
The Jazz make that in how many hours?
No, in order for me to get Darren Peters, take my pennies. Take my penny. Here's a quarter to actually make you feel better. It's like Adam Silver has no idea what to do. We are going to try to figure out a way on this pod right now to fix tanking. Chris, any thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this is abomination to the league. A lot of older gentlemen people, including our dad, right? Like
gentlemen people.
They like our dad's age, Bill Simmons, Nick Wright. We listen to those those age. Like they grew up with NBA. Like our dad is always been an NBA fan more than an NFL fan.
Yes.
And like same with Bill said the same thing, and even Nick Wright said it until he got Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Like NBA used to be the thing. It was appointment viewing. Football was always there, but it was always when they were growing up, the NBA. Like our dad always watched the
football
NBA.
was not even that big
because you barely could watch it.
It was really until the 90s when Jerry Jones. Yeah. That's when it actually became like, this is
But basketball used to be the sport.
Yes, basketball with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Those guys took over in the 80s and early 90s, and it was basketball. And then Kobe and LeBron and all these guys, Steph, KD, all these guys. But now, man,
now we're losing it.
We're losing it.
It's because of the integrity of the league, right? We've always had tanking. There's always going to be tanking. That's how it's going to work, but it's getting more egregious by the day and by the hour, where it's like things where it's
unbelievable.
You can't be forcing losing at this early. And I think what really happened and where it's like, it's not even like they're hiding it, right? It's the Jazz is the biggest situation here where like they're benching star players in the third and fourth quarter, and then they're asking them about it. And then Will Hardy, because he's probably upset about it too, even though he wants a top pick, but he's probably like, he just answers like, I just didn't play up. And it wasn't like they were hurt. It was like, at that point, you were complicit to like the fact that you were trying to lose games. But at the same time, if there's no enforcements, like why would they not? It's the same situation as like Charles Bediako going back to college.
Yeah.
And like Amari Bailey, it's
as
unethical,
well,
but if no one's going to stop me, why would I not do it?
Might as well, quote unquote, stretch the rules. But the crazy thing is there are no rules.
Yep.
It's just, hey, that doesn't seem right. Here's a $500,000 fine. It's like, no, there needs to be something serious that happens, something drastic, because the product.
Yeah.
You think about this. We play fantasy football all the time, right? When you have a guy,
could you imagine?
When you have a guy in your league who is just like, turn their team off, bye week players are playing, injured guys are in. It's like, this is a free win also for every other person who plays him. So every person who plays him gets that, competitive advantage.
Or if it's just that 1 week, imagine you're fighting for a playoff spot with a guy who's playing that other guy. Like, it's unfair to you.
Exactly. I'm saying it's a literal competitive advantage that shouldn't happen. There's other competitive advantages that Adam Silver has taken very seriously, like gambling. That is a competitive advantage because, hey, listen, I'll take my unders. I'll miss all my shots. I'll fake an injury. And Adam Silver's like, look, you guys out of the NBA forever. It's like, whoa.
Malik Beasley.
Was
he even convicted? Like, that's the thing.
Jonte Porter is like, whoa, that was heavy. But hey, you know what? Now we won't do it anymore. It's like, wait, what about when these teams and owners are like, hey, listen, we're not going to play these guys and you're not going to do a thing about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. How about this $500,000 fine? Is that too expensive for you guys?
Yeah, because he works for the owners.
So worried about it.
He works for the owners, not the players. And I hate that.
This has to be something that it really does have to be drastic to a point where it's, hey, wow, we will never even consider doing this. Like, no, most basketball players are not going to consider gambling on the game because they know, listen, my career's done.
Don't even consider
I could easily go to
Don't
jail.
even put my name in a text. I don't even want you to say, do not say a word about me.
Nothing.
Like, don't do it.
Nothing.
That's how serious it is.
And that's how it should be. But like when you have all these guys who are like, yeah, it's fine. You know, what are they going to do? What's he going to do about it?
Yeah.
The bald man.
Yeah.
He's just going to get another FanDuel ad. Good. Which is also
exactly. It's so crazy. But I think there are a couple things going around questions. So I think Adam Silver, first of all, there's questions about if he's really the right man for the job as the commissioner that is really a holistic commissioner, not just about making everybody money, because he's done really well with that.
Yeah.
He's negotiated the biggest TV deal in history, but like at the end of the day, the NBA product and TV rights are only growing. Like, is it really that hard to get that right? And we'll see. We'll see, right? But
he's also gotten every ad ever.
Here's exactly another example of leadership. Hey man, like sometimes you can't be liked.
Yes.
Sometimes you can't let things happen. Like by not by people outsiders, like by people within your own.
Yeah.
Like that is sometimes a respect more.
Yes.
You get more respect as opposed to just being the pushover that does anything the owners want, that does anything the players want. Like, this is what it used to be, right? It used to be like, remember everyone loved like the player empowerment era. And if I'm being honest, now that I'm like getting older and understand it, I'm not for that. Like,
you're not for player empowerment?
No, I'm for empowerment to a degree. But like, David Stern was a little crazy. He definitely was.
Yeah.
But the dress code thing's a little crazy.
Yes.
But we never got to the point where players are missing these games.
No,
like,
never.
There was a really bad point like early in Adam Silver's career when it was just like, these guys are missing games and there's no reason why. Load management.
So I got two things to say. First of all, Adam Silver, we knew how he started his career. His first year as commissioner was the Isaiah Austin. I don't know if you guys remember. Isaiah Austin was a guy at Baylor who was really good at basketball. Should have been probably a lottery pick, but he had Marfan syndrome, so he wasn't allowed to play in the NBA. The NBA drafted him. It was a whole thing Adam Silver orchestrated. It was a great move, and he got a lot of good press and good publicity. I think he's been riding that high ever since because everybody was like, "Oh, he's the best." He's great.
I thought he was great too.
And now it's like,
ever.
Now it's like, all right, come on, Adam. Like, it's sponsored by Chipotle.
I know.
Powered by DoorDash.
Everything.
Delivered by Wingstop.
What was it called?
One thing.
The Ruffles celebrity game?
Yes.
Like, we don't need it. It shouldn't be the Ruffles. Like, the fact you have to say, this is the Ruffles celebrity game.
Adam, that extra $200,000 was not worth it.
This is the Alamo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the
Alamo Bowl.
76 Bowl.
Yeah.
Like it's in the name now.
The Cheez-It Bowl.
Did you not see that thing on Twitter with the Lakers? The Lakers court during Prime Video. It was like, Wingstop. It was like Michelob Ultra. The court was unbelievable.
Oh my god,
unbelievable!
I know, yeah.
And like
powered by YouTube TV.
How much money do you need?
I know.
Like, how about you make the product better? And then this is my question to you. It's like,
wait, sorry, I had two things. Okay. I lost my other thing.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually no. Back to it. So people were saying it might be a little bit of a pivot, but people were saying, obviously, or you were saying, nobody was doing load management with David Stern.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron did go on his podcast, and you heard this. He said
basketball's harder.
It is harder.
Yeah, it is.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think basketball is harder now?
Yep.
Do you think players who are actually really good and athletic could play 82 games? Should the season be?
Great question. Great question. Goes right into back to what I was saying.
Fantastic.
Basketball is way too hard to be played right now, and I 100% agree with that.
Interesting.
It's hard. It's a lot of back and forth. It's tougher on these bodies. They're playing deeper into June. They're doing more things. Like, there's more cups. There's more, FIBA things.
Travel.
You want them to play in the Olympics. You want them to do this.
Yep.
So again, it comes back down to the fact that if you're a star-driven league and you want everybody to watch the stars, the games should be limited. Like, the NFL games are limited for a reason because it's a violent sport.
Yes.
Them playing 30 games a year would not be good for anyone's health. Everyone's already hurt by game 23 at the end of the season, right? Like, or game 22, whatever it is, right? Like, so at that point, you got to limit the season, right? But again, that's 10 games. You make it 70 games, 12 games. How much money is that? He's already calculating, right?
I know.
The burn in your pocket. He's calculating already.
It's all about profit.
The burn.
Profit.
And then,
go ahead.
And then there's that. And then there's a second thing where it's like, I think Nick Wright made a great point about this. Like, the fact that, like, people aren't, first of all, afraid of Adam Silver.
No, they're not.
Like,
they're
it's
not.
like if Dak Prescott didn't play in a game because he didn't want to, but the backlash that would come from Roger Goodell because of that would be ridiculous.
To get a better draft pick? Oh my god.
And people always talk about
and Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's so early. It's not like it's like middle of April. It's like, hey, there's a couple of games left. Like, whatever happens.
And
happens.
people, and this is the exact thing I wanted to really just hit it. Like, this is like the whole leadership situation, which is like, first off, you can't be friends with people if you want to be a leader.
Yes.
You know, when Roger Goodell goes up and does a draft, he gets booed.
Every time.
And I love that.
Great.
If I'm him, he loves that because that means he's actually making a difference in the league.
Yes.
It's like people don't like him because he's doing things that it's not as easy for everybody.
At the end of the day,
it's not easy.
If you're a ref, you want both teams to be mad at you. Because if both teams are mad at you, it means you're probably doing your job right. And like, obviously, people are going to be happy with their calls. They're going to want this. They're going to want that. Listen, life isn't fair. So you got to deal with it sometimes. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Great. It's not going to be happy. But here's the real thing that Adam Silver is. Needs to weigh out. Is like, and I saw on Twitter someone said, if you buy NBA tickets 3 days out, you're a bold man.
It's crazy. That's unbelievable.
I mean, it's unbelievable because it's true. This shouldn't be happening. And if there were fewer games, if there were actual chances for these players who are playing a basketball game is hard. Yeah. And look, I know you're not getting beat up like in football. You're not getting mini car crashes.
But there's Achilles injuries and stuff happening all the time.
Playing a basketball game is hard. And for you to play 40 minutes in a full court, full speed NBA basketball game, and then less than probably 20 hours later, right? If you go from actual end of game to start,
and usually you're going to another city
overnight. Going to another city. Less than 20 hours later, you got to do it again.
Going to another city overnight, and traveling on a plane, not recovering, and you were going to go play a game. Like, why should they play? I wouldn't want them to play.
This should never
There should always be, in the NBA, at least one day off between games. Every single game. If not two. Like, look with you in the finals. 2 days off between games.
Yeah.
Why couldn't every team play 3 games a week?
No, seriously. If it's not that bad, why don't we have back-to-back games in the final?
Yes, exactly.
Like, if it's not that bad, no, it is that bad. That's why there's a break between. It's all about making as much money as possible because if we're being honest, the first round of the playoffs should have been 5 games a while ago. Yeah. Look at the MLB. Look at all these sports. The first round is usually boring, but actually, if there's a chance for it to be 5 games, maybe
that makes it easier for the worst team to win.
Yes, it makes it more interesting, even though, again, it's not going to happen. Yes. But it still makes it more interesting.
One less of a game, one less sample size thing where you can win on a fluke.
I mean, how many times does it go to Game 7 in the first round anyway? It's
4-1 all the time.
Yes,
but imagine if that was to 3 and it's 2-1. Like, you don't know, right? Like you're much closer than it's like I got to win 3 games in a row.
Yes,
it's a lot different. And
100%.
You hit that right on the head where it's like, if you wanted more players to play. If you don't want to worry about load management, you make the games less, and you just make enough off days in between each game. There's a week between every NFL game.
And that's the crazy thing is it actually, as backwards as it sounds, fewer games will actually lead to more money.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a better product. People are going to be rested and healthy. And also all these guys are going to actually play. Yeah. I mean, look, we see all these guys who actually do have injuries. Believe me, Luka's out right now, or all these guys are out with an ankle injury. Like when LeBron takes off the second day of a back-to-back, they throw in back soreness or whatever he had, even though he's not dealing with it right now, just because he needs to take a day off because this is a tough stretch. You can't just play back-to-back games as a 41-year-old man. And we should be wanting him to play as many games as possible. The season should be no longer than 70 games.
Like, how many games did Jerry Rice play when he was done? He played the whole season. I don't know this, but he probably played as many games as possible.
He played a lot of games. Yes. See, I know he was a workhorse and a Iron Man is what I was going for. But it truthfully, it will bring you more money because those games, even if you think about Wizards, Lakers, it's like, well, if that was the second night of a back-to-back, I'm not sure LeBron's playing in that game. And then guess what? The only time the Wizards have a chance to sell out Capital One Arena, it's not even going to happen because we're not even sure that the main guys are going to play because they don't need to.
Well,
but imagine if they had a couple days off and LeBron's like, yeah, I'll play against the Wizards.
I didn't even think
That's
about
probably like a fun time to play. That's probably a fun game to play.
That's a great. And then the gate fees. You charge more because everybody's playing every
game. Guess
what?
LeBron's playing. People are going to pay money. I had no money. I paid all my money to see LeBron play. Yeah. And he barely played the game, by the way.
Because they killed him.
But it's still history, his biggest regular season loss of all time. But either way, it just makes no sense that like this change hasn't happened, and we're just so focused on tournaments and adding other teams. It's like, wait, hold on, we're missing the fundamental thing that's wrong with the NBA. Players aren't playing. That's the real thing that's wrong. Yeah. Yes, tanking is actually really bad, but the real thing is we have stars who are just resting because they need to.
Yes.
It's a physically taxing sport, and they're not getting enough break. There's no practices. I mean, tell them about the practices.
Yeah. Con Knipples was telling me he hasn't practiced in 6 weeks. The Lakers haven't practiced since December 29th. Like, you need practice to get better. You can't just play games.
Think about the NFL. 3 practices every week, unless you play on Thursday. Every week.
Because you practice, because the games, and that makes the games feel so important. That's why you don't see tank in the NFL. Because there's 2 things, right? It's like you said too. The NFL, you can go worst to first. You can make the playoffs. You don't know. Like, there's a chance. There's only tanking at the end, the last like 2 games in the NFL, because it's like, okay, now we're growing.
And maybe.
It was just the Raiders this year. The Giants wanted to win games.
They did.
Like, they didn't care. They could have got number 1 pick.
I mean, the Pats last year were lined up for the 1 pick.
Yep.
They won that last game with Joe Milton. I don't know if you remember.
Yep.
And they ended up getting number 4. Look, I mean, they were going to take Travis Hunter probably at 1.
Yeah.
And they ended up with Will Campbell. So I don't know what's the actual. It's probably just an L either way. But like, think about it. Like, it happens all the time in the NFL. Like, we want to win games. That's how the product should be. And look, when people are healthy, when people are fighting, every win matters. And when there's so many games, one little win in game 42 doesn't really matter as much as a big win in week 16.
Yeah, exactly. Week 16, exactly. And that's just kind of the whole thing. There's a lot to talk about here.
I've one fix to fix tanking.
Okay, how do you fix tanking? Fix it.
I was walking and I was thinking about this. And I want you to tell me how good of an idea it is. I don't think it's all that great, but let me know your thoughts. The draft lottery is open to all 30 teams.
Okay.
So it's worse odds for the bottom teams. So essentially, like you know what it is right now. 25%.
Any team can
every
win the lottery.
team can get the number 1 pick.
Even if you win the championship.
Yes, every team has a chance to get the number 1 pick, and that means that the bottom, 5, even though right now it's 25%, whatever, it's like 11. I mean, we're bringing it down. Like,
it's on a scaled percentage.
Yes, of course.
So not everybody equals.
Right. So it just lessens odds more. Then we make the draft lottery less of a spectacle. It's always okay. It's an hour of.
It would actually make it more of a spectacle because you don't know who's going to get it.
Right. I'm saying
I know
quicker. Right? Yeah. It's an hour of. Like, I would make the draft lottery just the lottery instead of an hour of Cooper Flag. Where do you want to go at number 1?
Because again, it's like the NFL. They can make money off everything.
I know they put some.
That's very interesting. I think I would try to find somewhere to cap it and not give it to like the final 4 teams. Like, I don't think the final 4 teams should get a chance.
Okay.
That's sorry, something like that. Maybe it's the final 8. I don't know what it is.
I'm saying maybe it's like 0.000.
But it's still have a chance.
Yes, exactly. There is a chance. Like one of the 1,000 ping pong.
Yes, exactly.
Like, which is 0.00. Anyway,
a lot to talk about.
Let Adam Silver lock in.
I just think he needs to be harder. Like,
yes, meaner.
He needs to be meaner.
Dude, like, people have to.
Not cool
people
anymore.
have to be pissed at you. And
this is the job you like. It's the reason why you get paid the big bucks. It's the reason why you can fly on the NBA's private jet. It's the reason why you have all this power. Like, the one thing I was saying is, like, do you think there would be a time where he's just like, am I able to make a decision on anything? Like, it's my discretion, and I can make a decision if I think it's tanking or not. And if it is, I'm taking away your draft pick, and that's it.
That's what
he should be able to do that.
Believe me.
It feels like a dictatorship, but it isn't.
Because that's when people are afraid of, like, hey, I don't even want him to think that.
Don't even think it. There will always be a check in place where you have to check with the players association, whatever it is.
Something.
Not just he can do anything.
Yes, right.
But, like, imagine if that was in the air. Hey, guys, I can do whatever I want.
Listen, I'm taking your draft picks for the next 3 years.
And he can do it where, like, and it's the same, dude. It's the same shit with aspiration. Like, why don't we have a room here?
Hey, something got to happen.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. He doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah, say nothing happened or say something happened, because this middling, BS that we're dealing with right now is just not. It's not enough. It's not good enough, Adam. So, I still think he's riding the Isaiah Austin high. That's just me.
That's a good point. But yeah, a lot of things for Adam to do. But
long weekend. So we are gonna go into
the
watching.
A little long today.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Get you guys on Monday.
Wait, we got the watching.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I'm just saying, I hope you guys enjoy it so far. The watching hour.
So
Spotlight.
we watched Spotlight. I don't know if we announced that. We watched Spotlight.
We didn't know what we were gonna do last time.
I had no idea. I really didn't know what it was about. I just knew that they won the Oscar, and it was one of.
I didn't even know they won the Oscar.
It did win the Oscar.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
When you told me,
Best Picture. Anyway, quick thoughts. Spotlight.
I love how I really do like the stories that actually happened. Those are cool to see the portrayals in the movie.
Yep.
I think two things. I didn't realize how powerful the church was.
In Boston.
In Boston, yeah.
Spoilers ahead, people.
The church is
I guess it already happened.
Yeah. The church is important in other areas of the world as much, but not as much here, right? You don't think
no.
It's going to make that big of a deal,
right.
And also it's it shows you too, where it's you think it's the most quote unquote holy place, nothing bad happens here. When a lot of bad things can happen here, because at that moment you're in a position of power. They're always going to be in a position of power over people.
Yep.
And you can have the ability, especially when you are talking about a higher power, to take advantage of people. And that's where I think it's super interesting, because I just could imagine these young kids were this is God I'm talking to.
Yes, that's what they said.
And this is what God wants me to do. My God.
Who am I to say no to God?
Oh my,
crazy,
terrible.
And it's not a coincidence. It was almost part of the process.
Yeah,
which is super.
And then what did I love that what that guy said, right? I forgot what he said when she was interviewing him at the door.
I didn't feel pleasure.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it's what do you mean?
Yeah.
But that's how you would respond to it, because it was just even they were thinking this is just God. It's not even me. Trust me, I'm just doing this because
right.
But what that's where it's just a lot of things, and what you said was crazy is that people who watched the movie said it wasn't even they overblown. It was more overblown than that in real life.
Yes, they undersold how the actual effect. They said it was the biggest thing ever, which is just unreal. One of my favorite scenes from the movie was Liev Schreiber, who is the Hard Knocks guy. Shout out.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. But when he was we have to go after the system.
Yep.
Not the person, the system. And I think that was the biggest difference. I'm not sure how 100% accurate this was.
Yeah.
In terms of did they if they
is that what happened?
Right.
Or were they always going after the system?
So if that's actually what happened, I'm so glad that he did that. Right. You go after the system. You attack,
because that's how you really get rid of
You don't
them.
attack the symptom, you attack the disease.
Yep.
Right. So so he attacked the disease. I thought it was a great movie. My official rating 8.2.
Interesting. I didn't do my rating.
It was a high 8. Oh, sorry, low 8, high 4-star.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
8.2 for me.
7.9, I'll say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right in there.
Next movie we are going to be watching is.
We don't know yet. There's a couple options.
I think Babylon is a movie we're going to watch,
okay.
But I'm excited for it. It didn't get the best reviews, but everybody says it's great. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see about it. Good movie. Good talk, as always. Good job, buddy.
Good job by you, buddy.
There we go.
Did you listen to that?
I know I did. I just listened to what you said. I never get to the end.
You gotta listen to that.
I appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Wait. So what's our?
We'll figure it out. We just gotta go.
That's true.
And with that, we appreciate all you guys being here. Like, subscribe, as always. Check us out on everywhere you get your podcast. Also, everywhere you get your social media at SimmBros. Every single place. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Thank God. We found it.
Shout out Instagram. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll say good night. Enjoy Valentine's Day. Enjoy President's Day weekend. Enjoy some time off with the family, with your loved ones, whoever it may be. And we'll see y'all next week.
Just another Saturday. Stay locked, people.